Okay, welcome back to another ride on my CB500. Wow, big bike. Little big bike, but big bike. So, I have no idea what she's doing. I wanted to talk about the whole experience of like theory mod or CBT theory mod 1 mod 2 and just like how I found the entire thing. So let's start with CBT. Absolutely valid. I love CBT. I think it's a really good bit of training, really helpful, especially for first time getting on a bike. I think it's great. I think it teaches you the fundamental basic skills that you need to go out and start really learning on your own. Now, the argument becomes whether you should buy a 125 or just do your full license and then just get a big bike. Having now been through the entire experience, I am a firm believer that you should, in fact, buy a 125 and ride it and gain some practical experience. I say this because during the short time I had my 125, I put about 3,000 miles on my bike. And that helped massively. On both my mod 1 and my mod 2, the other people I was with were nowhere near as confident riders as I am. And I'm not saying I'm amazing, like I'm really not. I'm actually probably below average. I probably still have a lot to learn. But my confidence on a bike was and is incredibly high. I'm a very confident rider. I'm very comfortable on a bike, and that comes from spending so much time on my 125. I would regularly, as you've seen from some of my other videos if you watch them, take my 125 up the Pennines, which is like, crazy mountain roads on a little 125. And I'd have a blast, and it taught me how to be a confident rider. And riding a 125, you really need to learn how to work the bike, and it, in my opinion, makes you a better rider. Because you don't have the power to just pull yourself out of situations. You have to really plan and work for everything, including overtakes. And as I said, on my both mod 1 and mod 2, I was far more confident than the counterparts that I was doing my training with. And I firmly believe that it's because of that. I know it was because I was not a very confident rider when I started. But I gained that confidence by practicing on my 125. Now, obviously the argument against it is, well, it's a waste of money. And yeah, I get that. Look, for my MT125, I paid £2,000. But then I sold it for 1,900. Like, what? 3 months later? 2 months later? 3 months later? Something like that? I bought this for 900. Paid for my mod 2 test. And bought some new gear for me and gear for the missus so I can take her on the back. So I actually didn't. Oh my gosh, come on, dude. Come on, find a gear. I actually didn't really lose out. I mean, technically I lost £100, but £100 to use a bike for 3,000 miles and gain all that riding experience? I mean, in my opinion, that was worth it. That's a steal. That's a bargain. Yeah, obviously I had to pay insurance. It was like 70 quid a month. So yeah, there was the insurance cost, sure. Even so, what was that, 71, 42, 10, £310 in total? Yeah, for me it's just worth it. It really is. And I would encourage everyone who is thinking about doing the bike license, one, to get out and do it. Just go to a CBT, even if you're unsure. Just go to a CBT. It really gives you a feel for what to expect and helps you understand what it is you're going to be doing, whether you're going to like it or not. So I would 100% recommend that to start with. And then secondly, like I said, it's the practical experience you gain. Like, case in point, just creeping through there, just filtering through. Both the guys on my Mod 1 and Mod 2 were like, oh no, I'm not confident enough to filter, I'm not confident enough to filter. My 125, that's all I would do is filter, because I did want to slow down because it was so slow. So I taught myself to filter. Probably in the wrong gear for this, but never mind. Did it anyway. Yeah, so I taught myself to filter and become confident with it. And that's the key thing, it's that confidence. I really got to be quite a confident rider. Because of my 125. And I highly recommend that to everyone. Honestly, I think it'll help massively. I'm trying to undo my friggin' zip, I can't find it. Bloody gloves. Oh, guess I'm just gonna cook. Oh my god, come on, I can get through down there, right? It is a bit tight. This guy's let me over though. He's moved over, but actually he's come back out now, so. Okay, second thing. Mod 1. What do I think of Mod 1? Well, honestly, Mod 1 is your CBT. It's the first party CBT. The bit you do in the yard, that's Mod 1. With an obstacle avoidance. And you have to be doing 32 miles an hour on the emergency stop and the obstacle avoidance, that's it. Aside from that, all the maneuvers you do in the CBT, you do on the Mod 1. You literally stop, control stop in the box. Also, you do a manual handling, but you have to, park the bike. Great. Easy. And then, yeah, you stop in a control stop in the box, figure of 8, slalom, both of which, actually no, you do the figure of 8 in your CBT. I don't think you do the slalom, I can't remember. But basically, it's a CBT. Right, so if you did it on the CBT, you can do the Mod 1 fine. And it was the one I was most nervous for, definitely. It was definitely the one I was like, oh, I don't want to do this. And I was quite concerned about it. But actually, I just really enjoyed it. It was my first time being on a big bike. The Bandit 600. And I had a blast. I just spent all day doing laps around the yard, training. Took my mod to test afterwards. That's how I did mine. I don't know how other people do them, but I just did a couple hours of training before in the morning and then did my test in the afternoon. I think my test was like 2:30, 2:45, something like that for my Mod 1. So we spent the morning from like 9 to whatever, just dicking around the yard, practicing, learning the Mod 1 course and route and whatever. Which was great. And then rode up to the test centre, which was incredible, by the way. First time riding on the road on a big bike. Freaking loved it. Oh my god, that was it. That's what made me get rid of the 125. When I rode on the road and I was like, shit, this is what it's like to ride a proper bike. I can't go back to my 125. And I couldn't. Honestly, I got back from my Mod 1, I took my bike out, and it made me sad. It made me so sad. So I sold it, and like I said, the Mod 1, I generally enjoyed it. I was nervous for the test, absolutely. I'm not a person who tests well, but the training I did before helped me memorize everything. I knew what I had to do. The confidence I gained from riding the 125 over a couple of months, it really helped me be stable and comfortable on the bike. And I just did as I'd been shown. And that was it. Walked over to the pass, rode home, rode back to the test centre, happy as a pig in shit. Got my Mod 2 booked in straight away, and it was like a 3-week wait until the test. It was the earliest I could do. So got that booked in, and then obviously we come on to the Mod 2. So the Mod 2, I did the same way. I did my Mod 2 by going to the training school in the morning. Started at 9 a.m. By about 9:15, we were out on the road riding around. We were riding around all the test area. There's like 70 odd different test routes. So, it was kind of impossible to like go on a route and learn it. But what my instructor did was just like take us in the area, so we were familiar with the general area, right? And he would give us feedback, and he would pick us up on things, and he picked me up on a couple of things. So I knew to correct them. I was a bit too keen in roundabouts. Again, this is where the confidence was a little bit of a bad thing. I was a little bit overconfident with certain things, and I would go for gaps, which maybe I shouldn't have. So he would pick me up on 1 or 2 of them, just making sure I was test ready. And then we rode to the test centre for 13:35 was my test, 1:35. And I hopped on. The examiner was like, hey, don't worry about me. If you see a gap, you go for it. Ride for yourself, don't ride for me. So that's exactly what I did, and I rode sensible. I stuck to the speed limit. I wasn't aggressive. I was calm, controlled. I was actually stuck behind the learner on their driving test, doing about 20 mile an hour for most of it. I took a wrong turn during the independent ride. He was like, head for, I forget what he said. And I was like, yeah, cool, no worries, and then turned into a car dealership. Literally, he said, the independent drive begins now. I want you to head 4 cents for this here. I went, yeah, okay, no worries. And then turned into a dealership. And he went, just turn yourself around. I can't see what you're doing. I'm at the other end of the street. So turn yourself around and come back. Which I think was code for just do whatever the fuck you need to turn around and then meet me back here. And then he goes, right, it's first exit. I was like, okay, thank you. And because the thing is, you can go wrong. You can take wrong turns. It's absolutely fine. You need to do it safely. That's the whole thing. They want to make sure you're safe, right? It's not about not getting lost, which is weird, because it is an independent ride, so you'd assume that'd be part of it, but it's really not. The idea is they just want to make sure you do everything safely by yourself without instruction. So I did everything I needed to make that turn safe. I just made the wrong turn. After that, I was like, cool, let's go, 10 minutes, independent ride. almost as soon as it started, felt like it was over. It honestly, it flew by. It was insane how quick it went. And then he gives me directions. He got me to pull over at the curb a couple of times and then pull off, pull up behind the car, pull off, pull up by the curb on a hill, pull off. Just obviously checking to make sure I can merge into traffic from a stationary position safely. Which, you know, was fine. That's cool. So that was cool. And then after that, we rode back to the centre. I didn't even have a chance to get my helmet off. The guy's like, yeah, congrats, you passed. I was like, oh my god. I got a little bit overexcited at that. I was like, that's fucking incredible. I was like a little bit excited at that point. I was quite happy. And then yeah, we rode back to again the test or the instructor's depot after my test. It was really cool. My instructor on the way back was like, don't worry about the radio, just enjoy, just have fun. Because, you know, I passed. Like, that was it, I passed now, right? So I was like, yeah, just have fun, enjoy it. So that was really cool. Got to ride back by myself. Well, I followed them, like, you know, we were there, but like no comms, no radio, no instruction, just me riding however I wanted, which was great. And that was it. And then kind of like to reflect upon it, I actually really enjoyed that was risky. I overestimated my skill there. Definitely overestimated the skill. Actually, without this wind it would have been fine. The wind was playing a little bit of a funny fuck with me. It was fine. I could have just pulled in next to the car. It was cool, but like they let me back in Blossom, which was really sweet. It was really sweet of them. But yeah, everyone, listen, I reflect on the motto. I really enjoyed it. I had a blast. The entire day was basically riding around on a bike with two other bikers, chatting shit through the intercom. Which was fun. You know, we went for a bacon roll, had a drink, not like a hot drink, obviously we chill out during the day, stopped, got a bit of lunch at a little biker cafe, and it was a really good day. It was a really fun day, and you know, obviously it was made better by the fact that I passed, that obviously helped things, but yeah, even without it, it still would have been a fun day. It just wouldn't have been as fun, you know, because that Saturday didn't pass. But I thoroughly enjoyed them. I know people get really nervous. It's natural. It's a test. But my advice would be, this sounds really stupid, but don't. Just try and enjoy it. Just take it for what it is, which is you're just riding with other bikers around, and then you go for a ride with a biker following you who's going to give you some feedback on how well you do it. Like, that's kind of how I would really try and put it. And yeah, just enjoy it. But again, this is where I think this 125 really helped me, because I'd ridden so much on the road that I was incredibly comfortable with it. because I was so comfortable being on the road, it wasn't as nerve-wracking. I mean, my driving test, I used to get so nervous the seat would be soaked in sweat. Like, generally, I got so nervous for it. Obviously, it was a long time ago, it was like 20 odd years ago, but the point stands, this I just enjoyed. It was just fun. So anyway, that's my view, that's my take on it. Now, do I think they're fit for purpose? Yeah, I kind of do, yeah. The CBT is great for giving you the basic skills, and then your Mod 1 and Mod 2 is basically CBT split up over 2 days, but on a bigger bike. So you do your practical training, like, you know, your slow speed maneuvers and all that stuff. Is anything coming there? Oh, I can't really see. The tree line is just kind of stopping me from being able to really see. So, yeah, you take, you know, that's basically the first party CBT but on a bigger bike. And then your Mod 2 is basically the second party CBT but on a bigger bike. It's just the on-road part, right? And all they're looking for is to make sure that you ride safely. Which, if they saw me today, they'd probably have a heart attack. But that's all it's there for, right? It's just to make sure that you're safe on the road. You know, I think it's all pretty valid. So I think I think it has its place, and I think it works pretty well. Now, what I do have issue is the theory test for motorcycles, because there's not really any difference between a motorcycle theory test and a car theory test, right? There's just not. I think in my theory test I had like 1, maybe 2 bike related questions, which weren't even really bike related. They're like nonsensical stuff. And that really didn't give me any great value. So I do think that's silly. If you've been driving, if you've got a driving license and then you're going to get a motorbike, I don't think you should need to do another theory test. I think that's a bit stupid. I understand it for things like HGVs and stuff. I get it, because they have very specific rules and things you need to follow. I understand that. But I don't think it's suitable for a motorcycle. I also think it's incredibly stupid to make people do their motorcycle test on the restricted A2 license and then make them redo the exact same fucking tests, identical, the exact same tests again to de-restricted A2 license. Where's the sense in that? So what you're saying is, hey, a couple of years ago you passed this exact test, so we give you a license, but said, ooh, don't write anything too quick. And now we're going to make you do it again to see if you can write something bigger, even though we already know you've passed this test once. The exact same test. No different. That seems a bit stupid too. I don't understand that. I don't get it. It's just a bit silly. But aside from that, I don't disagree with it. Now, cost. CBT was 150 quid. Theory test was like, I don't know, 32 pounds 50, I think, something like that. Mod 1, I paid for my Mod 1 training and test about $3.50, give or take a few pound. And that was for the, like I said, the training and the test. And then Mod 2 was for 12, and that was for the training and the test. The Mod 2 test is more expensive. I think it's like £75 or something like that. So yeah, do I think it's worth it? Yeah, I mean, the training I had beforehand is why I passed, because there was all those little things I needed to pick up on to pass, so that's fine. yeah, I have no issue having paid what I paid. Now, what I do think is interesting is a lot of people will pay for lessons, motorcycle lessons, and they'll do like 10 hours of lessons or 20 hours of lessons, like a block 10-hour booking, block 20-hour booking. They'll pay £400, £500, £600, £700 for these lessons and these block bookings. And I don't think there's any value in that. Because if you do the CBT thing that I'm talking about, ride a 125 for a couple of thousand miles like I did, a couple of hundred miles, just ride a CBT, just ride your 125, then you will gain the road experience anyway, and all you really need is someone to sharpen you up on any little silly mistakes you might be making for the exam. So, me personally, I think that was a bit silly. Oh, hello, you're a bit sweeping, aren't you? Well, this is going to become much more sweeping. This is really going to sweep. Oh, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Oh yes, you are. You're definitely an interesting band. Yes, you are. I actually low-key hate this bit of the road. I don't like steep hills at the best of times. And when they've got big ass sweeping bends like this, they irritate the shit out of me because it's so easy to run wide. Anyway, that's my thoughts on my experience of the whole CBT theory, Mod 1, Mod 2 bike license journey extravaganza. My opinions, take them with a pinch of salt. You may agree, you may disagree. It's cool. Opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got one. So, you know, whatever you think, that's great. Yeah, anyway, take care, look after yourself, ride safe, and look after your safe. I mean, you can look after your safe if you got a safe. Otherwise, look after yourself and ride safe. And I'll see you in the next video, which will hopefully be quite soon. And I might even get some drone footage in eventually. I've not really had a chance to get it out lately. But, yeah, I might even get some drone footage next, who knows. Alright, catch you soon. Bye.